This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. Tomorrow is Chinese New Year with celebrations throughout the country. In Dunedin, the city's Chinese garden is the focal point of celebrations which begin in the evening and typically end with a bang.
Hanging lanterns and weeding the waterways. The team at Dunedin's Chinese Garden are getting ready for their biggest day of the year when thousands of people are expected to celebrate the Chinese New Year.
Well, as usual, Lan Yuan, the Chinese Garden, will be quite a hub for activity here. At 6:30 in the evening, we're going to be starting with some entertainment outside Lan Yuan, and then at 7 o'clock the doors will open and people can come in for a special view of the garden for a gold coin entry, which is a great opportunity for people who perhaps haven't been down here before to come and have a look at this beautiful garden.
As with previous years, a dragon parade makes its way from the Octagon before arriving at the Chinese Gardens.
7:15, the dragon parade will leave the Octagon and they'll make their way down here to Lan Yuan, and when they get here there'll be dragon dances and lion dances and other cultural performances, as well as food stalls.
All of the events are set to lead up to the grand finale, when fireworks should light up the night sky, although he says the weather could play a part.
Where hopefully we will have the traditional Chinese New Year firework display to welcome in the Year of the Pig. But that's of course weather dependent, so yeah, we hope for the best.
Tim Cornelius is hoping for weather like today's has been, and the Dragon Parade is expected to arrive at the Chinese Garden at 6:30 p.m. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A man has been airlifted to Dunedin Hospital after sustaining serious injuries in a tractor accident in Southland today. Details aren't fully known, but 2 fire engines were dispatched around midday to the accident scene in Maple Bush, about 30 kilometres from Invercargill. St John's say a rescue helicopter was dispatched and the man, in his early 20s, is in a serious condition. Fire and Emergency New Zealand say the man had been released from the tractor by fire crews. The cause of the accident isn't known, but WorkSafe has been notified. A little-known historic and magical piece of North Tyree is about to change hands. The Wairongoa Springs, once used by Thompson and Company for its supply of mineral water, is now looked after by locals with a strong sense of stewardship.
Amid the kauri, beech and totara trees planted by a damaged soldier from World War I lie the relics of a Dunedin company that once took water sourced from deep beneath the Tyree to sell here and overseas. At the heart of Wairongoa is a spring which bubbles the most remarkable water, emerging from deep underground with a distinct natural fizz.
I think the water's rather nice. It's got quite a strong sort of soda flavour to it. It goes quite well with whisky.
Austin and Claire Banks have owned the land for the last 25 years, but they're due to leave soon for the next phase of their life.
Needless to say, we're going to miss it hugely, but there comes a point when you've got to move anyway.
The spring was once the source of water used by Thompson and Company, which much later became Lane Thompson, a well-known Dunedin soft drink manufacturer. Dunedin people visited the property in their thousands with its spacious lawns and ornate fountains. They were allowed to drink as much of the water as they could, but vandalism meant it had to be closed to the public. The forest of native trees present today are the work of one of the original Thompson sons.
He was ex-First World War, I think, got quite badly injured and had a passion about developing this land. So all the trees and what have you see are in fact his work.
It then became the home of the Neal family and its well-known son, the actor Sam. Banks says the Neals put a QE2 covenant on the property many years ago.
It protects in perpetuity the land and the trees and what have. They can never be sold or subdivided for, say, infill housing or anything like that. Nice to think that Twyford won't get his bloody hand on this bit.
Wairongoa translates as medicine water. It comes from deep inside the earth, and there's been plenty of interest in it from the international scientific community over the years.
There was one doctoral student and the supervisor came from England some years ago, and they were looking at very deep wells because oftentimes they're an indicator of precious metals.
The banks are set to leave the property in March, but they're confident the new owners are perfect for carrying on the stewardship of Wairongoa in Dunedin, the south today.
A person has been taken to hospital after being trapped under a machine at a Queenstown construction site. Emergency services raced to Highview Terrace, where a police spokesman says a man was trapped between a machine and concrete. A placemaker's hiab had toppled at the construction site. Police, firefighters and St John were informed of the incident at around 2:30. A St John spokesperson says the driver and sole occupant of the hiab was taken to Lakes District Hospital in a moderate condition. WorkSafe is investigating the incident. Last Friday we showed you a montage of mysterious structures on the beach at Tyree Mouth. Made out of driftwood, the sculptures are the works of an anonymous artist, and the local council say they're happy for people to create more public artworks around the city environment.
Driftwood sculptures by an unknown artist. These creations south of Dunedin at Tyree Mouth use found flotsam to create art in a public space. While the sculptures aren't commissioned works like this one outside the library, Dunedin City Council art advisor Lisa Wilkie is all for having more anonymous art around the town.
They're creative, they're using material that's already found there, they're temporary, and as long as they're not endangering somebody's health or blocking access to the beach, I think they're a wonderful thing to see.
The unauthorised artworks get a tick of approval for not being permanent structures.
I do need to say that any permanent public artworks do need to go through a consenting process, and that's really a balance of people's rights to self-expression and creative expression with responsibility as a civic citizen and being part of a broader community.
But she sees public art as more than just a way of making the city pretty.
Art isn't just about making something more beautiful, it's to do with, it can be provoking, it can be challenging, it can make people see a space in a way that maybe they haven't considered before or thought about. It makes them see a space or an area or a concept like climate change in a different way. So as far as I'm concerned, art that succeeds in doing that can only be good for the city.
Wilkie acknowledges the blurred boundaries between Dunedin's mural culture and graffiti, in some cases scrawled over authorised art murals.
There's that fine line also between graffiti and between artworks as well, and far be it from me to cast any sort of value judgments or aesthetic judgments, but it's a spectrum.
Until the next storms come along, the Tyree Mouth sculptures are set to remain on the beach for the public to enjoy. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. Queenstown gets a taste of street art, and Greymouth is a hive of activity with the start of tuna season.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. You come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Welcome back. Organisers are expecting another sellout crowd when Sir Elton John rockets back to Dunedin as part of his farewell tour next year. It's been announced the 71-year-old will perform at Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium in February. The concert will form part of the three-show New Zealand leg of his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, which also includes performances in Hawke's Bay and Auckland. Elton John was the first artist to perform at the stadium soon after it opened in 2011, drawing a capacity crowd of over 35,000 fans to the venue. Tickets go on sale next week. Steen Jones has officially left his mark on Queenstown. The Australian street artist has banished the bland brown wall at the entrance to Cow Lane over the past week, replacing it with eye-catching, large-scale street art. Jones started putting his mark on the wall last Thursday and painted long after the sun set every night. He put the finishing touches on it late on Wednesday, and by the next morning it had already become one of the most photographed sites in Queenstown. Jones was one of 19 artists who put forward concept designs for the wall last year as part of the Cow Lane street art project. He says he's honoured to have become the first person to paint a large-scale mural in the resort town. The tuna season began slowly on the west coast, but it's well underway, and fishing company Tallies says the Greymouth Wharf is a hive of activity with staff busy unloading plentiful catches.
Catch of the day. After a slow start, the tuna season on the west coast is now in full swing. Tallies Greymouth branch manager Jeff Drake says Saturday morning was the busiest yet.
Well, up till now we've only had around about 70 tonne unloaded to us. In comparison to last year we were at about 250 tonne. But as today we've got 33, 35 tonne unloading, and it's looking like on Sunday we'll have another 33 or 34 tonne on Sunday as well, so things are picking up.
Drake says their boats aim to catch the fish as they swim south along the coast.
So they're actually migrating from Auckland down through what we call the Heaphy Patch, which is northwest to Westport, and they're making their way into the trench now, so a little bit later than last year, but this is a general pattern that they normally follow anyway.
He says 4 boats were expected to unload over the weekend. From there, the fish are taken north before heading overseas.
Tuna will be unloaded here. We store it in our chiller till a truck will turn up. Truck turns up, he'll pick it up and then take it through to Motueka. When it gets to Mott, it'll go into brine tanks. They'll chill the fish right down, and then we'll put it into a blast tank, a blast freezer, and we'll get it right down to minus 18 degrees. Then it goes from there into containers and shipped overseas.
Drake says there are more than 60 boats in the Tallies fleet based on the west coast.
Now they're coming, it's looking fantastic. We've got quite a few boats out there at the moment, even though the weather's a wee bit rough. I think just offhand we're in about 67 boats currently fishing to Tallies between Westport and Greymouth. That's very good numbers in that regards here.
4 boats were due to unload on Sunday, with another 12 to 13 looking to come into port over the next few days. In Greymouth, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, young sports stars get to meet their Highlander heroes in Alexandra, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
tune in to Eastern Light Filmworks every week.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. 2 helicopters have been sent to help battle a large blaze in Broken Hut Road, south of Omarama this afternoon. Fire and Emergency New Zealand say crews from Omarama, Twizel and Kurau are struggling to contain the blaze, which has destroyed a hay barn and spread to surrounding trees. About 20 firefighters are at the scene. Fire crews were alerted to the blaze just before 12:30 p.m. The Highlanders faced off against the Waratahs in a pre-season match in front of a crowd of 4,000 at Molyneux Park in Alexandra last Friday. But before the game, local youngsters got the chance to learn some rugby skills from their sporting heroes.
Alexandra's youngsters receiving some valuable rugby tips from the visiting Highlanders rugby team. It's the first time the Highlanders have played in Alexandra, Molyneux Park being the venue for the clash between the home side and the New South Wales Waratahs.
The main purpose is to come down and connect with the community down in Alexandra, trying to promote our game tomorrow against the Waratahs. It's our first pre-season hit-out.
Major's team made good use of the opportunity to impart some of their experience to the boys and girls of Alexandra.
Great to be here in Alexandra. Just brought the squad down to do some skills and drills with the kids.
The entire squad came to Alexandra, although the side's All Blacks, who had just returned, weren't required to play in the match.
We've just broken the boys into 4 groups today. Got one team down here playing Escape the Square, so the kids are having a bit of fun down here. We've got some skills down here, game of touch over here, and not sure what these guys are doing over here.
Friday's game was played in 3 30-minute periods, with the Highlanders proving too good for the Waratahs, running out 59 to 38. In Alexandra, for the South Today.
And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Philip.
Yes, hi Sophie.
Hi.
Stephen Jackery's taken this nice picture and Sally Ray's done a story. It's the rodeo on Wednesday at Outram. This is a little girl from a whangarei family, and it's all in the family. She's born to it. Her grandmother's competing, uncles are competing, various cousins, and here she's sharing a bath with this beautiful looking horse today in the rodeo. There's also lots of youth, young visitors from Australia taking part, teenagers in the rodeo.
Right.
Yeah, so that's interesting. On the main big story tomorrow, the official announcement of what happens with Telford's not due till tomorrow morning. A story saying what the plan is in general terms to try to keep Telford going at least for next year, and then here's hoping it can carry on from there. The travel page is tomorrow. It's a big feature on United States and sky tourism, dark sky tourism, which is of real interest to us here, of course.
Yes.
With Twizel, even Naseby's into it, and Stewart Island, and yes, an interesting read. And the second travel story is about Milan, not just the fashion of Milan, but some of the architecture. It's not quite as hectic as some of the other Italian cities nowadays.
Right, yeah.
Elton John concert, it's a year away, accommodation to Dunedin and all around, apparently already booked.
Right, yes, people move quickly.
That's right, and happens to be Masters Games week.
Okay.
Maybe that clash is unfortunate, but maybe it gives people at the games a chance to go along as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The opinion page tomorrow, I find it interesting. There's Jim Sullivan from Aotearoa has a amusing satirical take on Waitangi Day. There's a piece from The Observer about Brexit, and the main item is from the chief executive of that youth-led organisation started in the central Otago called Sticks and Stones. It's an anti-bullying, online bullying group that has done a lot of good work and has lots of plans in it, marking a safer internet day by looking at the issue of smartphones and social media and young people, and ways in which it's good and ways in which it's not so good, and what you should do. So that's an interesting little read.
Right, well thank you Philip. All of that and more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoMap.
Looking at the situation, a cold front arriving overnight will bring a southwesterly airflow tomorrow, which will get colder during the day and bring strong winds to some places. Southwesterlies ease on Wednesday, but cold temperatures bring a chilly night. Starting off with the southern towns, expect strong southwesterlies and showers. Balclutha, the Catlins, Lumsden and Gore are aiming for 15-degree highs. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, decreasing westerlies, becoming fine. Wanaka and Queenstown are expecting 19 degrees. Alexandra is heading for 21, while it's cooler in Te Anau on 15 degrees. To the northern towns, plan for a southwesterly change and showers later in Timaru and Oamaru. Timaru aims for 25 degrees and Oamaru 20. Omarama and Twizel should have decreasing westerlies, becoming fine. Twizel with a high of 22 and Omarama a high of 20. In Dunedin, showers tonight with moderate westerly winds and an overnight low of 15. A period of rain tomorrow morning with cooler southwesterlies freshening. Rain clears, but it remains cloudy and cool with southwesterlies becoming strong from mid-afternoon, a high of 16. Mostly cloudy with a few sunny periods on Wednesday, cooler with southwesterly winds slowly dying out with a high of 12. And in Invercargill, expect showers tonight with fresh southwesterlies, an overnight low of 13. Showers tomorrow with strong gusty cold southwesterlies. Showers clear late in the day and winds decrease tomorrow night, aiming for a high of 15 and a low of 10. Fine on Wednesday with sunny periods and some clouds. Cold with moderate southwest winds, a high of 13 degrees and a low of 5. That's all for our news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
My name is Paul Allen. This song's Faded from Black.